Ed Warren and Lorraine Warren are shown as the movie starts, who share their supernatural and paranormal experience in a conference. In the next scene, Carolyn Perrin and Roger Perrin who are shifting in a house with their kids. All kids enter the house but their frightened dog is unwilling to go into the house. They have 5 daughters named Andrea, Nancy, Christine, Cindy, and April. April finds a music box under a big tree having an adjusted mirror. While playing hide and clap, a pine wood is broken by the other girls. That pine wood was fixed to conceal a door. Behind it, their father finds a storeroom full of darkness which consists of a piano with other antique things. Their disturbed dog continuously barks. Next morning, Carolyn has many spots of wounds on his foot. Their clocks are still set to 3:07, and their dead dog is discovered outside by April. Next scene occurs in Ghost Museum of Ed Warren where press reporter is also present with Ed. Where Warren is informing reporter that every present things in museum is ghostly or have been used in witchcraft. These ghosts come here for worship once a month. Ed then tells about Annabelle doll. They tell, this doll has a devilish power which uses it as a source. Thereafter, farmhouse is shown where the clock does not work as it strikes 3:07. And evil happening occur at the exact time. And someone pulls Christine's foot during her sleep on her bed. And she also feels a foul smell. Cindy as sleepwalker so reaches in Andrea's room in this state. And hits her head with wardrobe mysteriously. Next day, one more wound spot is appeared on the body of Carolyn. When Roger goes outside, he observes a dead pigeon which falls from the tree. He is astonished seeing it. This happening indicates the capturing of a devilish power there. April and Carolyn are alone at home. April is seen talking with another invisible thing. April then asks to play hide and clap. When Carolyn moves to Andrea's room in search of her, the wardrobe is open there automatically. And someone claps bringing his hands outside the wardrobe. Carolyn is surprised on it but for the most part ignores. Afterward, someone pulls the foot of Christine more powerfully during sleep and she feels panic. She observes someone standing behind the door who threatens to kill her and all family. Nancy is also with her but nothing is visible before her. But foul smell is felt. Then Christine tells it to Roger and all family. Carolyn is shown having many spots of wounds on her body. She then hears the sounds of kids playing. All kids are sleeping in their rooms as she checks. But a strange happening occurs as all photo frames are fallen and broken automatically. Then she hears a sound of girl. Hearing her, she follows. Reaching near basement, the door of basement is automatically opened. Going in the basement, when Carolyn tries to escape, its doors are automatically closed. Carolyn is dropped from the stairs, and a ball is thrown to her by someone. Carolyn again tries to escape but darkness prevails there. Then Carolyn blazes the matchstick to make thing visible. A clapping girl is frightening her at the backside. Carolyn is entrapped there. Reaching in Andrea's room, Cindy is hitting her head with a cupboard. Seeing it, Andrea takes Cindy to her bed for sleep. Suddenly the door of that wardrobe is automatically opened. Andrea opens the wardrobe for checking. A female ghost is at the upside of wardrobe and attacks on her. Roger reaches there instantly and hears the crying sound of someone in surroundings. First of all, he opens the door of basement extracting Carolyn. Coming outside the basement both go upstairs and gather their kids at a place. They have to give evidence to church and then it will be allowed. Lorraine tells, there are numerous ghosts and one of them is evil-hearted. And Ed plays the recorded at night but hears only his voice. There is no recording of Roger and Carolyn. And Lorraine tells the history of this place to Ed. As a man had built a farmhouse here. He married a woman who used to believe in black art. Even she was a spellcaster in it. Her name was Bathsheba and she was going to kill a devil. And burning her 7 days child, Bathsheba had sacrificed him. And when her husband became witness of her doing, running outside, she committed suicide hanging herself with a tree. After this incident, many deaths occurred there as a child named Rory was lost. Drowning in his grief, her mother committed suicide in that house's storeroom. Otherwise a neighbor also committed suicide and a child was dead drowning in a pool there. During their conversation, recorder is played itself. Now Ed's voice is heard with Ghost's horrible sound. Now the clock strikes 3:07. Ed and Lorraine go to Roger's house next day and gather all evidences. So that they may show it to church. A police officer and a boy Brad help them setting the voice recorder and cameras in house surroundings. And Lorraine notices the Carolyn family photo inside and using her power, understands this special moment of making. And Ed sprinkles the holy water in all rooms to irritate the devilish powers if are present there. And its action may record. Suddenly basement door is opened, Ed and Lorraine move there. But there is nothing as they try to come outside, The door is automatically shut. They don't get evidence, finding nothing at that night. And all are taking breakfast happily next morning. Ed says to Carolyn to have some rest. "I will manage everything with Lorraine." When Lorraine is drying the clothes, she notices standing Bathsheba behind the cloth. Suddenly that cloth flies and is stuck with the bedroom window of Carolyn. As the cloth is uncovered, Lorraine views the ghost of Bathsheba. Before Lorraine arrives there, Bathsheba bewitches her. And now the devilish moments are begun. And these heinous evil spirits. At first, police officer Brad hears a girl's voice and immediately he sees the maid ghost who was suicider. And it frightens the police officer. And Nancy then goes to Andrea's room and sleepwalking, and that room door is locked. Nancy's sleepwalking photos are captured by cameras. It was obvious that there was someone except Nancy. When Nancy is in the room, she hears a kid's voice, "Hide yourself." All run towards that room but they find neither a child nor Nancy. Ed is searching with the torchlight and finds her in an empty place between two walls. April informs Lorraine, when Rory is afraid, hides himself there. Lorraine immediately reaches at that place. She observes the kids' toys, musical place and a rope that Bathsheba had used in her suicide. Suddenly a wood is broken there which causes of Lorraine's fall. And she moves into a storeroom, looking into the music box, she notices bitterly weeping spirit of Rory's mother. Rory's mother ghost disappeared saying, "It asked me to do as such." Bathsheba's ghost is also there which terrifies Lorraine as she tries to run, it reverses her pulling her necklet. That necklet is dropped down and broken. This was given by her daughter named Judy whose photo is adjusted in locket. Running outside, Lorraine tells that bewitching, these evil spirits compel mothers to take the life of their child. She tells, now it is bewitching Carolyn and ghost is the cause of wound spots on her body. Suddenly crucifixes are fallen on floor and someone mysteriously pulls the hair of Nancy dragging her to and fro. But they save Nancy successfully. They decide to leave this house. On it, Ed informs Roger that they will represent everything before church for exorcism of house. Meanwhile, Lorraine hears her daughter Judy's voice and sees her dead body in the pool. She is frightened seeing it. She has got upset for her daughter and tells to Ed about it, calling it an indication. In coming day, Ed and Lorraine tell the whole happened incidents of house to father, showing all proofs. They have also the photo of sleepwalking Nancy, along her the spirit of standing Rory is also there. Father informs, they will have to take permission of exorcism from other authority because they are non-Catholics. Now Ed and Lorraine's daughter Judy is shown. The ghost of Bathsheba reaches to her through her locket. It pulls the foot of Judy, awakening her. She is got afraid and comes outside in search of her father and mother. We also know here that Annabelle doll is disappeared in their ghost museum. Judy is afraid, at the same time Bathsheba is also seen there keeping the Annabelle doll in her lap. Bathsheba terrifies and tries to harm Judy. But Ed and Lorraine arrive there at the exact time, saving the life of their daughter. On the other side, Carolyn is taking Christine and April along with her. Knowing it, Roger informs Ed instantly. Carolyn tells, I am going to that house because all these devilish powers make mothers to kill their children through enchantment. All return back to that house. Carolyn is nearly to kill Christine as they reach there. But they spare the life of Christine and seat her in car. Seeing this occurrence, April hides herself in a place in fear. As they try to bring Carolyn out the house, meanwhile Ghost intends to harm her, stopping. Lorraine gets the point as Carolyn goes outside, she will be dead by Ghost. That devil drags Carolyn into storeroom. They try to save Carolyn going into the storeroom. But devil turns her condition worst with its power, so it was not the child's play to overcome it. On the other side, police officer is searching April in the house. Carolyn is not anyone's control. And she attacks on everyone one by one. They fasten Carolyn with a chair. Observing her condition, Ed decides to perform exorcism. As Ed begins exorcism, this devil Bathsheba is lost its control and devilish powers are more strengthened. But Ed continues to perform exorcism. Now a strange scene is shown in which devil lifts the chair up in air, stopping exorcism. Falling that chair, breaks it. As a result, Carolyn is unfastened. And she tries to attack Ed differently. At the same time, Thomas finds April. Knowing the hidden place of April, Carolyn proceeds to kill her. Before Carolyn kills her, Ed accomplishes his exorcism, reaching there. Taking oath by Ed, Bathsheba agrees to leave. And Carolyn is still bewitched by the devil. Lorraine and Roger then help her. They fortify her with the memories of her children and family. So that she may fight with this ghost. Eventually, the love of his family with their kids is won. And that devilish ghost unwillingly frees Carolyn and leaves. And Carolyn comes to her normal state and all begin to live their lives happily.